Hi, welcome to your Monday Motivation Power Up Your Energy. And today I thought we'd talk about which wolf are you feeding? We've talked about almost like on a three-part little mini series here. And how do I know if I have anxiety? And how do I know if I'm experiencing some trauma of betrayal? Both are very good questions. You know, how do I know if I have anxiety? Anxiety is just a label of something that you are identifying in your body. And that's the most important part. It's just when it gets to that level of anxiety, that's when you actually notice. So how do you get to that point where you can notice it earlier? And then with betrayal, you know, when we have those hyposensitivities, you know, the lethargy, I'm just sunk, I'm done, I'm spent, to those other hyper sensitivities, it's like you stand back and you go, wow, that really had an affect on me. Affect being, I sensed it in my body and everything just went to lightning bolts. Or and even sometimes that anxiety can get to lightning bolts where you just feel like, oh, I can't breathe. I've got the heart palpitations. Or that stress or that worry or that concern is really hyper. Or it's hypo, you know, oh, well, you know, they're adults now. They can do what they want. I have no say in it anymore. And then to really know that they could be in some sort of risk and you're just lethargic with it. There's different ways of looking at it. Well, I like to look at the concepts of, or the analogies of, which wolf are you feeding? It comes from an old indigenous myth, not even a myth, it's the truth. It's, you know, when I hear it in the elder's voice that spoke it in an online forum. And, but I'm going to look at it as far as what wolf are you feeding as your nervous system? Your nervous system, oh, it's so key. It is so key. And oftentimes, you know, when we go into and receive pharmaceuticals for something that we're experiencing in our body, it turns off the receptors. It turns off the receptors. It does not solve the symptom. It just numbs your experience of it. And the important part here is that you don't get an opportunity to become aware of that part of your body anymore. So now we become numb to our body. I want you to start to look at, what wolf am I feeding? If I am experiencing something in my body, in which way am I nourishing and what am I nourishing? Both with my thoughts, my thoughts, my words, and my deeds. Deeds is in actions. My thoughts, my words, and my actions. And then you see we have a fourth after that that's often we forget about, because we're running on empty, we're running in numbness, we're running because a saber-tooth tiger is chasing us and we've got our foot on the gas pedal. And that's our choice. When you are being chased by a saber-tooth tiger, you do not have a choice. When you are addicted to the gas pedal, whether it's overworking, addicted to a victimized identity, addicted to chaos, addicted to anything. There's so many forms of addiction. Addicted to coffee, addicted to Coca-Cola, addicted to sugar, addicted to pain, addicted to suffering, addicted to being right. You know, what wolf are you feeding? And what happens with the other wolf? Now, there's two nervous systems, two autonomic nervous systems, one being the sympathetic nervous system. That's the wolf of fight, flight, freeze, pain, suffering, collapsing nervous system, hypersensitivity. And then there's the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest, digest. It's your place of more calm, deeper breathing, more regulated system. It also can offer those that hypolethargy as well. So we want to be aware of in what aspects each are being fed. So just to recap, there's two wolves. You are feeding them like they are your baby. You are nourishing them so that they can grow. You're holding them in your arms like it's a pet, and you're saying, I love you. I love you. I love you. Because you are feeding it. You are feeding one of those wolves, or you could be feeding both. The biggest thing is to become aware of what wolf you're feeding. You know how they say a dog is a human's best friend? It's used for compassion. It supports us in many ways in our life. That for people that cannot see or cannot see well, it guides them. For people that are in a chair that can't get out of a chair, it helps them. Should they drop something? It offers us an opportunity to feel safer, to be out in nature or in public so we can take a dog for a walk. We feel that we have a companion, and we nurture that companion more than we nurture ourselves, but in turn, we do nurture ourselves. Find which wolf that you're feeding and befriend this wolf that befriends you, that feeds and nourishes you. That's that parasympathetic nervous system. Part of what we can do is regulating. And I'd like to go, I've talked about that in other areas of my work that's on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Everything that I do offers grounding, centering, and aligning, and regulating. Those are the two key things that you can do to nurture this vessel. The breath, the nervous system, all the cells, they create our health. Dis-ease is only this disassociation from our body, that step away. I know because I experienced it. In 2017, I had some pictures taken of something that I was working energetically with in my body, and it was a 14-centimeter tumor. And it turned out to be that I required surgery, and that surgery turned out to be ovarian cancer surgery. And everybody looked at me and said, you of all people, you. And I'm like, yeah, I had a sticky icky growing up, and it's my emotional trash can. And as we prepare to go into the next month's membership, we're going to move into the emotionality. So I want you to be prepared. This is a sneak peek of what we're going to be doing in the Body, Mind, Spirit membership. Regulating our emotions, because if we can regulate our emotions, man, our energy is pulled back into our body, and it's no longer an emotional drain, but it's an emotional gain. I get goosebumps just talking about it here. They're truth bumps. That emotional gain. Regulating your nervous system is simply like bilaterally moving your brain. It can be just rocking back and forth. When we rock a baby, we're regulating their nervous system. And sometimes we need to go front and back, depending on what the baby wants. Sometimes we can move in a circle. The mantra is always, how slow can you go? And in yoga, when we work with this circle and this feeling of the perineum, feeling of your sit bones on your furniture, that also brings you into a grounding state. And it also works with your energy, your root chakra energy, your chakra 1, as it accesses that energy. And in the membership, we go month by month, and we bring this energy up every single month, working on a different center. The first 6 months is the involution. We work through the pain and the suffering, the icky, sticky part, that awareness of what are those thoughts are that are coming in. And then we follow down in the mode of manifestation, where we work with all our centers again in manifesting what it is what you learn to identify who the truth of you is. And then with that, you learn what it is that you really desire, and what really, feeds that wolf that nourishes you, and you in turn nourish that wolf. As humans, we want connection. Even if it's a mythology, even if it's something that we need to see in a different way, some people will call it our inner child. Some people might bring up the analogy of the wolf. Whatever works for you, and that's right, because you're the boss. This is you, this is your life. Another way to bilaterally bring in to regulate your nervous system is to actually touch your container, depending on, your heightened state of where you're at. You may need to touch your container. Sometimes you need to actually touch your container. Bring yourself back. Bring yourself back. And then just offer yourself some love. Lifting your hands ever so gently and ever so slowly. It's often called the butterfly. I used to do this when my daughter was playing soccer here with the Whitecaps. And I'd have my big coat on and she'd be in net. And everybody said, what's it like to be a soccer goalie, Mom? And I'm like, you know what? Whew, you got to regulate. You got to regulate. And another way to do it is with your feet. The same thing as you're doing with your hands, but this is your heel. Lifting your toes. Opposite. How slow can you go? There's many times I'm sitting here in front of you and I'm regulating my feet under my table as I'm spending my time with you, because I want to make sure that I'm feeding the right wolf. I don't want to get stumbled in my words as the other wolf gets more food and feeds and I get more nervous and my heart starts to palpitate, my fingers go cold, my toes go cold. You see, we all got it. We're all human. No matter what we're doing, feed the wolf. Breathe down to your lower abdomen. And when we're feeding that wolf, keep your eyes open. Sometimes when we go into this state and we slow ourselves down, we can go back into that hypo. Oh, poor me. Poor me, and I just can't take it. I just can't take it. And we're still here, but we're just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that argument. I'm such a bad mom. Oh my goodness, I could have done better. I should know better. I should have done this. We're still regulating, but we're not feeding the wolf. And I'm disassociating. As I take my stick out and I'm whack myself with my stick, I'm further disassociating out of my body because I'm such a bad person. I did that so incorrectly. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so anxious to be doing this. As opposed to saying, I did the best I could. I love myself. This might be somewhere where I want to take a boundary. What does a boundary look like? If I can create a boundary, I can love deeper. I am good. I am worthy. I am bringing in those affirmations, bringing in that thought that supports you to be and do and have everything that you want in this lifetime. As you know, time passes us by and this is not a dress rehearsal. So if you want to go live, go live. And if you're going to have a snotty cry, have a snotty cry. And if you don't believe that I didn't do that, just see episode 1, my very first time, March 24th, 2020, my birthday. I went live because I felt that the world needed me online. Didn't really know what I was going to talk about, but I knew I needed to be there. I'm over 200 videos live. And every time I come on, I'm like, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to share? So thank you for being here and sharing with me. I love you. My name's Deborah O'Neill. I'm the CEO and founder of BlissBE.Me Integrative Health. I have a lot of free material. Find it. I work one-on-one with treatments with clients in person and in distance. I have 2 locations, a studio in Coquitlam, and I work out of a clinic in Port Moody, MaxFit Movement. I also do on calls and discovery calls. If you're curious, if you're the least bit curious, if this is something that will help you to be the greatest that you can be or who you want to be, but at least live a life of bliss. And the monthly membership for just for $1 a day, just over $1 a day, come in and play. If we excavate our thoughts, where is that thought coming from? All that pre-programming, that subconscious thoughts. We do the work, and it's not work, it's a lifestyle. So join me in this lifestyle. I'd love to have you. I'd love to support you. I'd love to be the reminder of the good wolf that we feed every day. every moment of every day. Make it a great